Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. Uneducated Network presents Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton, and right now we're in the middle of a beautiful Monday night football game with the Washington Redskins and the Kansas City Chiefs, which will cap off week 4 of the NFL season right now, and it's been a great season so far, and what a great week. Not a great week for me so far per se when it comes out to my picks, but we'll live and we'll learn. Next episode, I'll go down who I have winning and who I have winning for next week as well. And also, if you haven't, please like and subscribe to Uneducated Network to where you can see my show and many other shows as well. And check out our show. Might be uploaded Tuesday night, Wednesday morning at the best. That's our casual college football talk with my host, myself and Brian Wilkinson, who's the host of Based on Balls as well. So we'll talk college football for week 4 as well for them. So week 5, excuse me. So we're gonna go ahead and recap week 4 of the NFL season. So let's do that. The first game that was on the docket was the Thursday night game. You had the Chicago Bears going into Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers. They get slacked 35-14. Mike Glennon, he is the starting quarterback, but not anymore. Today it just came out that Mitch Trubisky will be the starting quarterback next Monday night when the Vikings go to Chicago to play Chicago Bears. So big night, big stage for Mitch Trubisky. That game, it was basically over before it started, to be honest with you guys. They had no chance. Playing in Green Bay, and then it rained, and all of a sudden, it was probably about an hour break. But then after that, they got back into it. The Bears just can't handle the Packers offensively. Packers are injured though, like pretty much everywhere except for quarterback. A couple of linemen are out. Ty Montgomery and the backup running back is out now. So stay tuned. We'll probably talk fantasy in the next couple of days about the Green Bay running back position as well. But they handled business 35-14. We all know Devontae Adams did get a serious injury with that. So not telling them when he'll come back. We have no idea. But they win 35-14. Then we had the London game. My New Orleans Saints faced the Miami Dolphins, and that was basically, it was a bad game. So many flags being thrown left and right. No one can get into rhythm. But I always say in those London games, those neutral site games, the better team is always going to win. The Saints are a better team than the Miami Dolphins. They win 20-0 behind Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara, who's been the bright spot for this team when it comes down to the running back committee. I thought Mark Ingram would get most of the carries or most of the spotlight. Adrian Peterson taking a second or third down role. Alvin Kamara coming in sparingly. But no, things have changed. Alvin Kamara is the guy, in my opinion, who will get most of the carries and snaps, most of the looks, let's just say that. They go in and beat them 20-0. Miami still cannot find their way. They don't know what they're doing. Jay Cutler, I said it from the beginning, they should have started Matt Moore, have Jay Cutler as a backup, but Jay Cutler wasn't going for that. I understand that, and they're just dismal to watch on offense right now. Same old Jay Cutler, different team, same person. Saints win 20-0. They go 2-2, headed to the bye week. Miami, I believe, is 1-2, something like that. Poochies. Next game, Panthers go into Foxborough to play the New England Patriots, and they actually come out with a 33-30 win over the New England Patriots, the defending champions, which is it was very rare because it was weird to see because after Carolina got beat down by Saints, you thought, okay, going into New England where Tom Brady them aren't really feeling that well about themselves after a slight victory over the Texans, you thought that Patriots were going to put a slacking on the Panthers. Well, no. I can say vice versa, but Panthers came out with a game plan. They didn't really focus on dumping it off to McCaffrey like I thought they would, those short intermediate routes. No, they went deep to Funches a lot. They went deep to took a lot of shots. And I don't know if New England's secondary is just that bad, because I don't think it's that bad, but I told someone this morning. Look at who New England has faced so far. Kansas City, New Orleans, Houston, and now they face the Panthers. All for either really good or playoff teams. Now, usually in the beginning, you face an AFC East team once, maybe twice the first 4 games or 5 games of the season. And let's just be honest, they have the worst division outside of themselves, they are the AFC East. So the Bills, Dolphins, Jets, those guys always suck. So they always get it 1 or 2 games against those guys and get into a rhythm on defense. Well, you have no time to sleep when basically you play the Saints and the Panthers, and their best showing on defense was against probably the best offense out of the 4, which is the Saints. So it's just saying that they got a lot of work to do, and it's not going to get any easier outside of their own division when it comes down to the New England Patriots. But they need help on defense. Tom Brady can't carry them every single game. Cam Newton, is he back? Well, I don't know. I think it's more of New England just has a very bad defense right now. Not so much of Cam Newton is back, So we'll see what it goes on. But the Panthers win 33-30. They're 3-1. Patriots are 2-2, very surprisingly 2-2. But they got a lot of work to do on defense. Next game, Jaguars at the Jets. The Jets pull off in overtime, 23-20. When it felt like nobody wanted to win that game, it went into overtime. It's like nobody wanted to win. And it went down to the final minute, and the Jets kicked the game-winning field goal at home. I actually had those guys winning that game just because I think the Jets, the way it's looking like, their mentality is going to be a little different at home than on the road. Leonard Fournette, once again, over 80 yards rushing, over 40 yards receiving, had another touchdown. He's had a touchdown in every single game he's been in so far, so he has a knack for the end zone so far. So he's doing a great job for that team. Jacksonville is on the come up. The Jets, surprisingly, this probably has to be the most shocking 2-2 out of everybody in the NFL right now. The Jets, we all thought they had the worst, schedule or the worst roster, in the whole entire league. And it just comes to let you know that they come to play at home, at least, with the crowd behind their back. So a nice win for the Jets, 23-20. They're 2-2. Jaguars are 2-2 as well. Both teams very surprised in their own right. And then the most lopsided victory of the day, the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson put a butt whipping on the Tennessee Titans, 57-14. This was crazy. One, Mariota was out in the third quarter, but by that time the game was already done. Basically, Houston had it all in wraps, but Deshaun Watson is the truth. 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Oh, all in the same game, by the way. 283 yards passing. A lot of rushing yards. This man is the true deal. Somebody asked me before the draft started, they said, hey, what if the Saints went up in the first round and got a quarterback? How would you feel? And my answer would be, that would freaking suck because we have Drew Brees. Why would I want to waste on the first round pick, let alone first, second, or third round pick? But I said, but if we did, it won't happen, but if we did, there's only one quarterback I want. If we go up, we better get Deshaun Watson. I don't want Mitch Trubisky. I don't want Pat Mahomes. I don't want none of those guys. I want Deshaun Watson. He is the guy. He has the it factor, and he is showing it right now for this Houston Texans team. They went up and got him, and for good reason. He is going to be a star. 57 points, which is the Houston Texans franchise record for most points in the game. But 57, and Deshaun Watson isn't slowing down either. He looks like he is the real deal. He's not the fastest guy, but he's not he's not the slowest guy, obviously, but the man gets it done with his feet, gets it done with his mind. He's very, very, very smart intellectually. He is very, very, very wise when it comes to football, beyond his years. This guy single-handedly beat Alabama. I'm not talking about Johnny Manziel, kind of crazy flashing. No, in the pocket, throwing the ball, or running when he has to. When I saw that 2 years in a row, I said, I'm done. This guy's the best quarterback out this draft. Whoever's going to get him, got him. Houston has him. Houston, right now, has put themselves in a good driver's seat. I'm talking Super Bowl. Super Bowl contention. If he plays, just all they have to do is score about, the Texans scored 22 to 25 points per game. They're winning majority of their games. That's what it is. That Texas defense is pretty good. J.J. Watson, those boys, so they're going to hold it down. Bad showing for Marcus Mariota and gang. DeMarco Murray got shut down pretty much. They had nowhere to go, but they got slacked from the beginning. It wasn't a contest at all. 57-14. Deshaun Watson, he is the truth. Look out for him. Next game, the Steelers defeat the Baltimore Ravens 26-9. I kind of had this. So that's one of the games I messed up on. I had the Ravens with an upset, just thinking that at one point. When Ben is on the road against Baltimore, he doesn't do well, fantasy-wise. He still gets victories and W's and wins, but fantasy-wise, he doesn't do well. I just figured this would be the week that they would kind of stumble. And once again, after losing to the Bills, or no, not losing to somebody last week, I forgot that fast, but after losing last week, you would have thought they would come out kind of sluggish again. No, they did what they should have did from the beginning. Hand Le'Veon Bell the ball, give him the ball. Over 144 rushing yards, 2 total touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. This guy, when on point, is the second best back or the best back. Depends on who you're talking about. He's the best back in the game. Feed him the ball, because if you can't get your passing game going on right now, Ben is getting up there in the age. We saw Antonio Brown have a hissy fit on the sideline. He wants the ball. He works his butt to pick the ball, and a lot of times he was open. Ben didn't see it. Now that comes with age. Ben has been hit so many times. When that pass rush comes in, he's starting to feel it a lot more this year. You can see it. So he's dumping it down quickly, or he's looking at his first read, second read, and throwing it away, or something like that. But we can tell that they know what they want to do. They want to get the ball to Le'Veon Bell and let him work. Over 30 carries for the first time this year. 144 rushing yards. So the man is doing his thing. Pittsburgh wins 26-9. Baltimore is anemic on offense. Joe Flacco, he got paid, and then he got laid. When I say laid, that means he's just chilling. Joe Flacco got that money, and he said, you know what, I'm not worried about anything else ever again in life. So we'll see where the Baltimore Ravens go, because they need a lot of work on offense. Their defense is just fine. Their offense is sucky. How you go for 7 points and you get better by getting 9 points next week? Not looking good for Ravens fans on offense. Bengals versus Browns. That was my boo-boo game of the week. Bengals win 31-7. Andy Dalton had a coming out party once again. Hopefully this changes the rest of the season. They look pretty good, but we are talking about the Cleveland Browns here. Deshaun Kaiser, he's not the answer for the Browns. I would have waited to put him in maybe later on this year or for next year, but you put him in so early that if he has not that great success this year, he's going to look like he's the reason why the team is losing. Right now, the defense is looking bad. Myles Garrett, number 1 overall pick, hasn't played a single game yet because of ankle injuries are going on, but hopefully he can come in next week. He won't make a difference, so to be honest with you, he won't make any difference, but Cleveland, their defense is struggling. They have to start on that defense and put up some good workage. If not, they're going to have a long season once again. So far, they are defeated, not undefeated. They're 0-4. Bengals to their first win, they're 1-3. So all good things going on in Cincinnati, right? Wrong. Next game, Lions at the Vikings. We all know Sam Bradford is out for Minnesota, but they're at home. Case Keenum haven't looking good last week in Minnesota. So you're like, okay, well, bring on the fireworks. It's Detroit. Detroit has a pretty good defense, but not great defense. So you figure that they'll do a lot of damage. Thielen basically lost the ball, fumbled at the end to lose the game for the Vikings. Lions win 14-7. Matthew Stafford, he just finds ways to win. Should have won last week, in my opinion, against the Falcons. But Detroit and Matthew Stafford, this is a 1-possession game with Matthew Stafford having the ball. The Lions are going to win. It's just the way it goes. That's the way the world works these days. Matthew Stafford has shown why he's worth all that money, but outside of Matthew Stafford, the receiving core isn't really all that great. You got Golden Tate and Marvin Jones Jr. That's not really a great 1-2 tandem, but Matthew Stafford is making it work. He's making it work, and they're getting victories out of this. They go to 3-1, and the Minnesota Vikings are 2-2 now. And hopefully they can get the things together, because Dalvin Cook is out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL injury. It looked bad, one of those non-contact injuries, and when you see that happen, you know it's something bad. He got up with his own power, and he walked off, and you thought maybe not. Yeah, but you expect the worst. And torn ACL, he's out. So they got to go to McKinnon and the guy from Oakland. I forgot his name already. Latavius Murray. They got to go to those guys. And those guys right now have shown that when they have the chance to make things happen, they don't take advantage of it. We all know what happened with McKinnon last year. Only averaged like 3.2 yards per carry last year. So we will find out. But if they cannot run the ball, they're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. No Sam Bradford, no Teddy Bridgewater, and then, of course, no Dalvin Cook now. Lions win 14-7. They are rolling right now. Most shocking for most fans, yes, the Los Angeles Rams are for real, ladies and gentlemen. They're for real. This offense, over a year last year, they looked so anemic, so bad. Now you add in the first-year coach, young guy, 31 years old. He's this offensive quote-unquote genius, and he's looking like he's paying off. Jared Goff is a whole other quarterback now. They go into Big D, into Dallas, into Jerry Jones' world, and beat the Dallas Cowboys 35-30. It's always a good week for me when the Saints win and the Cowboys lose. It's just always a great week for me. Not saying the Cowboys have a bad, to not say horrendous defense, but a very bad defense. They're very young. So you knew that Los Angeles was going to come in there and take advantage of that. But Ty Gurley is reverting back to his rookie season. He is on a mission, almost 100 yards rushing, almost 100 yards receiving as well, all in the same game. Jared Goff is making great decisions. Dallas should have easily won this game. But for some reason, they get into a little funk every now and then in the game, and it let the Rams come back. At one point, Dallas was up by almost 2 touchdowns. And when you have that kind of lead, you got to keep grinding. Get the ball more to Ezekiel Elliott. They're putting a lot more pressure on Dak, and Dak is a great player, so I don't mind him having the ball in his hand a lot, but don't put pressure on Dak. Put the pressure on Zeke in that offensive line. You built that O-line for a reason, probably arguably the best O-line in the game. So keep it rocking. But they have a loss. Another loss. They lost to the Broncos 2 weeks ago. Now they lose to the Rams. So now they're 2-2. Rams are 3-1 at the top of the NFC West right now. I know, right? Shocker. Next game, Bills upset the Atlanta Falcons 23-17. Bills go into Atlanta, win 23-17. LaShawn McCoy over 100 yards from scrimmage for the first time. It feels like forever now, but he's finally maybe setting strides away. Tyrod Taylor had a big game when it came out and throwing the ball to Charles Clay. Clay, 5 catches, 112 yards, something like that in that range. The Bills, they don't have the most stylistic offense, but they don't make bad plays. I should say that. They keep it simple. They don't try and reach out and get something. Whatever's in their face, they take it. And I like that about this team. They don't do anything crazy. And Atlanta look like they're in control, but then when you lose Julio Jones and you lose Sanu, basically back-to-back quarters, now things are looking very bad. Their once potent wide receiver core is very thin now. When you got Justin Hardy and Gabriel as your 1-2 punch, it's not looking good for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know the extent of Julio Jones' injury yet. Don't know the extent of Sanu's injury either. So we're going to find out later on this week how they're going to respond. Will they come back or will they be out for a week or two? We will find out. But I know Julio Jones has a hip injury. But it shows that sometimes Matt Ryan is this great quarterback. And then sometimes he just gets into a funk, just like a mental lapse sometimes Matt Ryan. But to his credit, when you lose Julio Jones and Sanu, you're 1-2. Well, things are looking kind of bad in that fourth quarter. You thought that Matty Ice would drive down and have them win on a 4th and 1. When you have they had a 3rd and 1 and a 4th and 1 back to back, and when you had Devontae Freeman and Coleman on a 3rd and 1, you got to run that ball in. I would run it in, and they did not run it in. They tried throwing it, it didn't work out. Now, if you're a fantasy guy, Coleman, Freeman are going to get the ball a lot, especially if Julio cannot play. They're going to get the ball a lot more on a running attack. But I think they're going to head into their bye week as well. So we should find out. But Bills go 23-17. Eagles defeat the Chargers by a total score of 26-24. Yes, the Chargers once again lose by single digits. They have like 13 losses like that in the last 2 years now. The Chargers just know how to find ways to lose by slightest of margins. Eagles basically have the game in control, but the Chargers have their chances of getting it. As always, Phillip Rivers always at the end. He just doesn't have any help. His wide receivers aren't all that good, besides Keenan Allen, who is back. Keenan Allen and stuff, but the rest of those guys aren't good. Hunter Henry and Antonio Gates. Gates is getting old. Henry isn't really all that good, although he did catch a touchdown this particular game. So we'll find out, but the Chargers, they just don't have the... I can't explain what that is, but they don't have that when they get down to the nitty gritty, and we've seen it from last. It's just a player personnel. One, they're in the StubHub Stadium, so they don't have any fans support. It was obvious. It felt like they're on a road game. They're on the road, being at home. Philadelphia fans was everywhere. All you saw was green in the stadium, so you thought that, man, no, this is a freaking road game. So they're going to have 16 road games pretty much. It's going to be tough for them. The fan base is horrible. Roger Goodell tried to show his butt up over them. Like, hey, what's up, y'all? Come follow me. I'm Roger Goodell. People are like, nah, we don't buy the whole Los Angeles Chargers thingy. So the Eagles win 26-24 off of LeGarrette Blount. Had a big 60-yarder for a touchdown, and he's just a man among boys. And if the Eagles get this running game going on, they could be the best team in the NFC East. I started off saying the Giants. The Giants are poor. We'll talk about them in just a second. The Cardinals defeat the 49ers in overtime, 18-15. Yeah, weird score. To win in 12-12. 49ers get the ball first, kick a field goal. Arizona Cardinals drive all the way down and score a touchdown. That's how it's supposed to be. Larry Fitzgerald, reliable, comes up with the game-winning touchdown. The Cardinals, look, this is not a good victory for them. Look, it's the NFL. You take it how you can, but this is not a great victory for the Cardinals. They look like they didn't belong in this game. 49ers are a bad team, and the Cardinals are supposed to be this team that just a couple years ago went 13-3, and everything was riding high for them. This team is looking bad. Cardinals need to change things up right now. 49ers, they're showing strides. At least they're playing great defense in their conference. They hold the Seahawks 12 points, and they hold the Cardinals to 18 points. So and 12 points in regulation. So San Francisco's playing great defense. Their offense, we knew it was going to be kind of slow, but that will come in due time next year. Speaking of those New York Giants I was talking about earlier, they are now 0-4. They lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 25-23. Finally, the last couple weeks, Eli has found a groove with his throwing, connecting with receivers, but then, the Giants defense, their bread and butter, let them down in this particular game against Jameis Winston and Mike Evans, those guys. Jameis Winston being down 23, I believe, to 23 to 18 or 19, something like that. Anyways, 23 to 22, excuse me. The Giants go and they score to go up 23-22. Missed the 2-point conversion because Odell Beckham Jr. stepped out of bounds, then came back in, and Cardi, you can't be the first person to touch it. Yada, yada, yada. Y'all know those rules. So then all the Bucs had to do was just drive down, kick a game-winning field goal, and it was nothing but net, pretty much. 25-23 is the final score. Tampa Bay is, I believe, that makes them 2-1. And the Giants have a lot of issues still going on. 0-4, the last team to go 0-4 and go to the playoffs. The last time that happened was in 1992, so that's a long time ago. So the Giants need some help. But in that division, it's not getting better. Redskins look good. Cowboys, they'll be up there. And the Eagles, right now, 3-1 and leading the division. So Giants got a lot of work to do. Raiders at the Broncos. Derek Carr is out. He'll be missing probably 2 to 6 weeks. They don't know the timetable. He has he fractured something in his back. 2 to 6 weeks, he's out. They were struggling with him in the game regardless. EJ Manuel did come in and he looked pretty decent, so he knows the offense, so that's a good thing. But they lose 10 to 16 to the Broncos. Broncos come in with that defense. That's the scariest defense on earth. I would even say that their defense is better than Seattle's defense now. Just saying. Chris Harris, Nikita Lee, those guys are shutting everybody down. Then their front four is amazing. Then you have Von Miller coming in, disrupting everything that's in the sight. So this defense is scary. I'm loving the no-fly zone. You can't run on a zone. All these zones are shutting it down. Once again, the rushing, no one can run on these guys at all. Marshawn Lynch had a bad game. He was pretty much out the whole entire fourth quarter because it was pass. And Denver is looking pretty freaking good, man. If they can continue this defense and they make it to the playoffs, this is the scariest team on planet Earth if they make it to the playoffs. I'm just saying. They win 16-10. For the Sunday night game, it was basically a blowout. Russell Wilson had his second straight game of a coming out party for this season. They won 46-10. It was all defense. It was all Russell Wilson. It was everything you could think of. Russell had a great game. The defense had 2 touchdowns. The Colts hung in there, and they looked good hanging in there. Even up at halftime. They're up at halftime, and the wheels fell off. When they fell off hard. Look, Jacoby Brissett is a great guy. I like him. I like his spirit, I like his toughness. This Colts team is just a bad team all around. Just a bad team. And but outside of T.Y. Hilton on offense, they have nothing else. Frank Gore has done some good things, but outside of that, they have nothing on offense. We already know that they have nothing on defense too. So it's going to be very tough for the coach down the stretch to even get another victory. I'm just saying, it's very tough. But with that being said, the Seahawks, hopefully this is a Seahawks team that we are accustomed to seeing. If it is, be on the lookout, because Seahawks are still my Super Bowl pick for this year. Once things get clicking, once Russell Wilson finds something with his offense and his O-line and receiving, usually happens around like week 11 with these guys. They're late bloomers. So be on the lookout for the Seahawks. It is Monday Night Football, and it's still going on. I haven't seen the score. I'm not going to even say the score. I don't want to ruin anything, but I just let you know it's a good game so far. But those were the recaps. I want you guys to let me know what was the best game of week 4. Tell me who is your team, who you're rooting for. Like, subscribe, comment. Check it out. This Uneducated Sports Talk presented by Uneducated Network. My name is Carlos Clayton. You can find me on Facebook. My name is Carlos Clayton. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana. And check me out on Twitter at Carlos Clayton _. I repeat, at Carlos Clayton _. And as always, sports fans, you know what it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.